proclamation with us. Everybody do it, let's go. We're gonna turn the world upside down. We're gonna turn these people right side up. We're gonna shout until we're 6 feet over. We're gonna demonstrate something unusual. Come on! Something.
Partnerships are vital to our global outreach, enabling us to take the love and hope of Jesus Christ to those who need it most. Our Boots on the Ground Partnership Program physically ministers to those in desperate situations all over the world. The Israel Partnership furthers Kim's legacy of outreach to Israel and Jewish people worldwide. We invite you to become a partner today. Join us today and be part of a community that inspires hope, brings restoration to life, and often healing from the past. Together, we can make a difference, and we thank you for your ongoing support.
Shall become a trumpet, says the Lord.
Be a praying president, not a religious one, for I will fool the people, says the Lord. God says, I will put at your helm for 2 terms a president that will pray, but he will not be a praying president when he starts. I will put him in office, and then I will baptize him with the Holy Spirit and my power, says the Lord.
The Spirit of the Lord says there shall be one assassination attempt that shall endeavor to destroy the plans that I have for this nation. Look to your vice president.
But California, I am looking at you. Gold, stone, California. God says, once you recognize the man that I have raised up, pray, for the enemy will do everything in his power to put a witch in the White House. Hear me. I have found a man after my own heart, and he is amongst you. He is one of the brothers but singled out for presidency of the United States of America. Strange July, hypnotic November, and oh Christmas, where winter shall say, and me, I will make them happy. My will shall be done. And in the fall, will show you whom I have chosen to pray for and guide this nation. You shall rejoice, for it is my man. It is my chosen David, says the Lord, the Lord, the Lord. prophesy with me, everybody. Resurrection power, resurrection love, pour out there. Say it again. Resurrection power, resurrection love, come to us, Lord. Yeah. Resurrection power, resurrection life. We call for you to come. Throw your hands in the air, everybody. Throw your hands in the air. No more death. Life upon a limb. No more death. Life upon a limb. Oh, you will live. South, you will live. West, you will live. East, you will live. Lord, say it with me. Listen. North, come alive. South, come alive. East, come alive. West, come alive. Breathe on us, the Holy One. Breathe on us right now. Resurrection power, resurrection life. Come to us, come to us. Everybody do it. Resurrection power, resurrection life. You're in our hearts, you're in our minds. Come to us today. We are forever, forever, forever incorruptible. Yeah, forever, forever, forever. Yeah. Am I on? Yeah. Oh, great. Hi, everyone. I was so late. That's why you're listening to Resurrection Live. I told Lou, just play something for them because we've got so much stuff here that we can play you. It's inspirational. So, how is everybody doing today? How was this first week? Oh, my gosh. I have been all week long just in awe. Just, this is a president. This is what a president does. Oh, Pink Parasol is wearing her pink Kim Clement t-shirt. Oh, I love those. They came out so nicely. I need to actually do some more t-shirts. I kind of backed off because people started shouting at me about selling stuff. And I was, I tried to explain, look, I don't have a t-shirt company I use. I don't distribute. I just wanted people to wear the prophecies, sort of be wearing the word. So I used a spring account and made them. And in those spring accounts, they predetermine what the prices of things were. And then you can increase it to increase your profit. And I decreased it all the way down to zero, where I wasn't even making any money. And people just kept shouting at me about selling. So I kind of backed off the t-shirts, but I shouldn't have, because I'm not making any money off of it. I just wanted to. But I'm glad you like your t-shirt, because I designed it and I thought it was pretty good, with the beautiful rose. And, that's for the girls somewhere in the future, because Dad did those somewhere in the future t-shirts and merch over the years. And it was always quite masculine. I always thought it'd be nice to have something very feminine, beautiful, rose. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you can get one, and I won't make money off of it, but you can get one off of Teespring. I actually designed a few really cool things. I was supposed to get rid of the Strange July t-shirt at the end of the year. I'm just remembering, and I didn't. So that's still there. Okay. So again, sorry, you guys, I'm a little late today. I didn't even realize how late I was. And then I'm driving over here and I realized, oh my goodness, I've got to go on in like 2 minutes and I'm not there. So I said, Lou, you're going to have to play something for them. So he put Resurrection Live, which I thought was wonderful, because we are experiencing that in the United States of America right now. I mean,
I lived in California for 13 years, and to see Donald Trump sit down with those leaders, with that mayor, after that fire, and deal with them. I mean, just direct, like, no, they're not waiting 18 months to get onto their property. I've got that clip to play for you guys. I am pumped. I am pumped. Okay, so let's see. Let me say hi to you guys in here in the chats. Who conned it? Oh, hello. Now listen, I don't actually speak Afrikaans, but I did grow up. I had to learn it at school growing up. And who conned it means how is it, or how are you, or how's it going, I suppose. Who conned it? I'm well. It's going well. And it's lovely to see a South African in the chat there. That is in the Rumble chat, I believe. Yes, Rumble. And then I'm going to have a look over here at YouTube. What are you guys doing in there? Yes, God's truly blessing us with a leader. 18 months is absurd, right? Isn't it? And Trump saying, but they're standing right outside their property. If they want to clean up their own property, why can't they? And just exposing all the nonsense. And I'm telling you, I lived in California, and I know what it's like there. I lived there for 13 years. It was, it's unbelievable. Canada is the 51st state. That would be great. And, with all the nonsense going on in Canada, I'm sure you Canadians wouldn't mind. And everybody's, worrying about expansion. But, like, okay, the Panama Canal, that's ours. We built that. It's okay. We can take it back. I mean, whatever went on. If Trump wants to buy it back, I think he wants to buy it. Oh, Loopy Lou is Irish with Afrikaans friends. I didn't expect that, Loopy Lou. That's over there in Rumble. I'm glad you enjoyed the music. There's always something. I've been going today through the prophecy database because I'm looking up the stuff about cancer because of the mRNA vaccine thing that's come out. And I got to tell you guys, when my dad was I've told you this before, I'll tell you again. My dad was in the hospital. He had cancer. And we were just desperate to figure out something we were just trying to save my dad. And they came to us. They were talking about different treatments, because, radiation and chemotherapy isn't the greatest. And so we weren't so excited about him doing the radiation and stuff, but he had to. And South Africans for Trump. Yes, I'm a South African for Trump. 100%. Okay, Stargate. We're going to get to Stargate. Just me. Don't worry, because I'm a little freaked out about that whole thing. But with the cancer thing, they told us about they called it an mRNA vaccine at the time in the hospital. We were in California. Dad was very sick, and we were trying to figure out treatments. And there were all kinds of, treatments that people can do, but they're not approved yet. And that was one of them. And they said, we have a vaccine for cancer. And then, of course, at that time, I was not anti-vax. This is pre-COVID, way pre-COVID. This is like 2015, beginning of 2016. And they were saying they had this vaccine for cancer, sorry. And we were like, well, let him take it, because we didn't know. And they said, oh, we can't because it's not approved yet. And so we can't, we might be able to try to get him approved for trials or something. And that never happened, of course. But so I remember hearing about mRNA cancer vaccines in 2000. I would say it's beginning of 2016 is when that was going on. But now that we know what we know about mRNA, I can see why it wasn't approved yet. And then we had COVID, and look what happened. They just did a giant experiment on everyone in the world. And out of all of that, now Biden pardons Fauci. For what? What did he pardon him for if he's not charged with anything? Unless they know what he did. And they're preemptively setting it up so that if Trump tries to go after people legally, or not even Trump, if anybody tries to go after these people, that they've been preemptively pardoned. And that tells us everything that we need to know. That tells us they're worried, because if they didn't commit any crimes, they wouldn't be worried. So why did every Biden, pardon, all the way back to 2014? So that brings up the impeachment stuff. Why was Trump impeached? Because he picked up the phone and he called Zelensky and he asked some questions about Burisma and Hunter Biden and the Biden's involvement over there with Ukraine. And immediately they started panicking and accuse, and impeached him twice. And my dad prophesied that. So this past week has been a huge, and I mean, the people on the other side, on the left, that are still delusional, shouting and screaming about whatever. I saw that about someone saying, Kiddo 69 says Fauci killed little beagle puppies. Yeah. Who does that? I cannot imagine. I can't think of it. You know that I can't think of it. People tried to tell me the story and I have to block it out of my mind because there's nothing I can do to change it. And it was so awful that he did that. Thanks, Michelle. She says I look great. I threw myself together today. I'm not feeling so great. I've been eating junk. Listen, I've got a problem with these crumble cookies and Krispy Kreme dough. As soon as Trump became president, I just like relaxed and I just started eating. Like, I'm not a stress eater. I eat when I'm happy. So if you see me gaining weight, then I'm doing well. If you see me lose weight, you know I'm stressing out about something. So I'm not a stress eater. I'm a comfortable eater. What do you call it? And so I've been getting these crumble cookies every Monday. There's new flavors. It's so exciting. I'm calling Amanda Grace. Oh, did you see crumble cookies this week? Now I'm getting this double chin. I can't fit into any of my clothes. I feel awful. So I have to stop with the sweets. I made a pavlova last night with my sister. Anybody know what a pavlova is? The most delicious. You make this meringue base and then you dump cream and fruit in it. And we made a raspberry sauce. Oh my goodness, it was delicious. But I'm suffering today. I'm sick. I shouldn't have done it. So I'm going to go over. I'm seeing your comments there, but they're going so fast. Yeah, and this about Fauci's security costing so much to us when he makes so much money. I am going to go to X. You're going to help me. Thank you. Lou's going to help me get to X. He's so good. Thank you, Lou. He knows what to do to help me. There, and ba-boom. We have it. Oh, wait, you don't see it, but I see it. There it is. Now, you have me in a little circle in the side. Can we change the shapes? No, it's only a circle. There's no heart. I can't be in a little heart. Okay, well, it would be nice if I could be in a little heart there. That would be fun, or a little flower. Okay, so let's go to this is my page. Where are we? Okay, we are on my page. Let's have a look here. Let me see how you guys are seeing it. Yes, you can see it. Wonderful. I'm wondering if I should start at the bottom and move up. There's so much. I have so much today. So much. Okay, so let me just go down a little bit here. We're going to move up. We're going to go backwards because that's going to be a little easier, I think. Now, there's a couple of things I posted, so we might jump around on topics. There's my husband with McAfee. He met John McAfee years ago. He used to talk to him on the phone or email something. And when McAfee was running from the law, he was actually emailing with my husband, which is insane. It was an insane little friendship they made. And it was very sad when he passed for my husband. I mean, McAfee was a nut, but he knew a lot. He knew what was going on behind the scenes with all of these people. Sorry, I'm taking a second here to scroll down because I'm going to move up. Right. There is a fine line between genius and... Okay, so we're going to what a week of celebration. I love these Girls Gone Bible. That's really cool. The Girls Gone Bible. So very celebratory. I mean, an inauguration for the history books. Remember Biden's inauguration, you guys? It was like so, I don't know, it was weird. Do you remember? And it looked like North Korea, the way the flags lined up. And everybody that was at the inauguration looked nervous. Like nobody looked happy. Everyone was scared. They looked afraid. I don't know why. Maybe it was all the Chinese soldiers that were dotted through the crowd at Biden's inauguration. They had those little pins, remember? I always wondered about what was going on there. But here we go. There's Trump doing his dance. This is my favorite thing, Trump's dance. I just love it. If I ever meet President Trump, I want to do the dance with him. I don't even know if I could do it right. No, it seems simple, but it's actually quite complex. The movement of the arms and the legs. And then he'll do a swing, like he's swinging a golf club. And then just my favorite. But this was just a great image. It's a little random that the YMCA is the thing. Didn't expect, you think of all the musicians and all the songs, but this is the one. So that's one of the guys from the YMCA. Donald Trump Jr. said in this post, "This is America's vibe starting tomorrow." But this is what my dad was seeing. And, you have to sort of, it's not in like one prophecy. It's peppered throughout for years. Him telling America, you're going to be okay. There's going to be a revolution. Jesus is going to be cool again. There's death to debt. You're going to be debt free because of the discovery of a new energy that will be very prosperous for America. That there would be this leader, this David figure, gold attached to his name, and he wouldn't be a praying president when he starts, but he would be by the end of it. And I think a lot of the stuff that he prophesied that we thought was for the first term, because we were in time and we hadn't even reached this moment yet. I think a lot of the things, especially February 22nd, 2014, are going to move, are not actually just about that first term or both terms, but specifically about this, because they're even calling it the golden age. I'm reading on the side of the screen there. The golden age is here. Trump calling it that. Dad seeing the stuff about gold. It's just the prophecies. Like I said, it's not just like in one video clip I can show you. It's in like all of them. And for those of you who have been doing this with us, looking and watching these prophecies for years and years, whether you were watching when Dad was alive or not, you've been watching them. And you will also, especially if you watch Prophetic Rewind on Mondays, because I put full broadcasts on Mondays. And so you can go through, you can hear him teaching, and then throughout when he's speaking, he's talking about it. The cures for cancer, he talked about it multiple times. There was actually one clip I was wanting to show you guys today, and I could not find it, where Dad speaks about the last person to ever die of cancer, and he saw a vision. He had a vision or a dream, I think, and he saw a man. And people were around him saying, this is the last person to ever die of cancer, because there would be cures for cancer, not just some of them, but it would be a thing of the past: cancer, Alzheimer's, autism. And the interesting thing for me and my experience of this is that my dad died of cancer. My husband's grandfather lived with us from 2015 until 2021, when he passed away, and he had Alzheimer's, and we cared for him. He lived with us in our home, and we cared for him all through that process. And then my son is autistic. And so those three things that God promised healing for, I experienced. And that's something I don't really understand yet. If any of you pray about it, and if God shows you something, please feel free to share it with me, because I don't know why it happened that way, but I have realized that is the situation, that all of those things that by name were promised cure and healing for. My dad died of cancer. My husband's grandfather, who raised him, had Alzheimer's, and my son is autistic. My son is a magnificent child. He's amazing. But he is autistic. He's too funny. I'll have to bring him to show you guys sometime. So there's Eric with his family, with Laura and the kids. And that is just the sweetest. And I've met them, of course, not the kids, and not even Laura. Like I've been in the room with Laura, but what would happen? Anytime you go anywhere with these people, where these people are, it's just they're swamped with people wanting to talk to them, and so at Reawaken with Eric, he was at all of them, so I had more of an opportunity to talk to Eric and interact with Eric. I've interviewed Eric on this show. Actually, I was supposed to interview Eric, and that's when his mom died, and we had to reschedule it. And then when we rescheduled it and we interviewed Eric, finally, was the same day they raided Mar-a-Lago. So there's another sequence of events there that I'm not sure. They have significance, but I don't know why. Now, I did have the dream about someone's wife. It wasn't a dream. I was praying, and I heard his wife is going to die. And I thought it was Roger Stone or Roger Teal, because I had both Rogers in my text messages, and I looked down and both of them had been talking well of their wives. Roger Stone was talking about how his wife was healed, and he was telling me about some things she was doing just via text message. And then Roger Teal, who's the prophet who prophesied over my dad when he was young, prophesied over me after my dad died. He had been talking to me about his wife. And so it was a strange thing, because I'd forgotten about those conversations. I had my phone in my hand. I was praying, and I heard it was actually the most intense experience. And I heard his wife is going to die. And I looked down at my phone. I thought, Roger Stone and Roger Teal, both named Roger, were talking about their wives. And then the next morning we heard about Ivana Trump dying the way she fell down the stairs. And even though she's no longer Trump's wife, she was his first wife and the mother of Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka. And so there was a whole experience I had where I saw these butterflies, just thousands of them, and they were spiraling up into the sky. And there was this song playing, a very specific song. I didn't know. I had to go find it, but it was a Chopin piece. And if I ever had a chance to meet Donald Trump, that was the one thing I was going to ask him, is about this song. But I've never met him. I've still never met him. I said to Amanda Grace, what would be funny is if I never meet him. That would be hilarious. Which it's very possible I never will, because I had really tried to meet Donald Trump. And all I wanted to do was shake his hand and get a picture, because my dad prophesied all these things. And I thought it'd be so nice if I could, because my dad, historically, he had, he met George W. Bush during that era, and had a picture with him. I thought it'd be so nice if I could have met Trump, but it never happened. And you know what? It's fine. I didn't really fight, though, because to meet him, I wasn't really pushing, because, for instance, at Reawaken, there were so many people there who God had anointed to work with Trump at different capacities. And I'm not one of those people. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm hang around at the White House and do what? And I knew that. So I never really pushed myself to meet Trump, because these other people had worked so hard, and they were working toward a goal of doing something with him. So I never really tried too hard, but I did want to meet him before he became president, because I knew it was going to be like this, what we've just seen this week. Impossible. There's no way I could meet him now. But it's okay. It's fine. World Economic Forum. Thank you, Trump, for handling that. But I thought this was very, very interesting here. Now, we've discussed this before, but the Japanese prime minister who was assassinated would not follow the World Economic Forum orders, mandates for vaccines, sent back doses, and gave them ivermectin, and he ended up getting assassinated. And it's very sad what happened there. Here we go, you guys. Look at this. Now, this is the whole ceremony, so I won't play this video, but this was a wonderful moment in American history when President Trump was inaugurated that day. It was just surreal. And of course, this is the day after I last saw you guys. So Sunday, we did the broadcast with Clay, and then, Monday, it was just all inauguration. And man, Trump has not stopped. All week, not stopped. So here we go. Here's some stuff about Biden pardoning James Biden, Sarah Biden, Valerie Biden, John Owens, Francis. But who are these people? I've never even heard of them. Why are they going to? Yeah, that's what I would think too. How can you pardon someone who hasn't committed a crime? I think they were just trying to take a chance there to cover their own butts because they know what's coming. Charlie Kirk, of course, noticing people were crying in the rotunda. Oh my goodness. And he says, first, the Democrats know their hold on power is over, tears of loss. And second, the patriots are overwhelmed by God's grace, tears of joy. And you did see that. Look, anybody crying over Trump being president right now that's in any kind of leadership position, they're afraid because many crimes were committed. Here's more on Biden and the pardons. Biden said he would only pardon individuals who committed crimes. There it is, Jacqueline. How this is what I don't understand is how did that even work? Did they just write stuff on paper and just say? It seems like they were doing that through the entire Biden presidency, just whatever they wanted. I don't think it's preemptive. I don't know. Here we go. It's beautiful just to see the president at work. Then the January 6th prisoners. And let me tell you, I talked to some of them over the years after that happened. And it just absolutely atrocious, the things that happened to those people. And Trump just came in and there's another promise kept. January 6th, prisoners released. I mean, there were some issues with some of them. There's been some, but he kept that promise. And that's still happening. So we're just so grateful for that. Here, Roger Stone says, if Biden's whole family did nothing wrong, why did they require his whole family? I mean, this should tell people a lot. And if you were on the other side supporting Biden, I hope you are paying attention. I hope you are paying attention. I doubt anybody who was supporting Biden is even watching this right now, so I won't waste my breath. Eric Trump, January 20th, today we save America. Sure enough, I mean, week one, I'm just giddy. Just giddy. I've forgotten what that is, so I won't go in there. And then, of course, here, this was a good reaction from a foreigner, Katie Hopkins, who's got kind of a potty mouth, but she isn't here. She flew into Washington, D.C. for the inauguration. Of course, they moved it indoors. Thank God everything was fine. But I told you guys next week I thought it would be. A lot of people were worried. Many, many people were worried. Rightfully so. I mean, so much has happened. But it was like a rock in my soul. Just Trump's going to be fine. And I really was not worried. But what Katie was saying here, I'll play a little bit of it.
I just got food in and everyone was so kind, and this has some more of the presidential party coming through. We just let them get through.
Crying.
I came to pay my bill because I need
British.
to get home and get ready to go out. And someone had set up my
paid
chair.
for her dinner. And she was
And
really
honestly,
cut, very emotional.
Just the bigness. That's what Trump would say, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be? Just the bigness of it all. You know, of what this day really means to everybody. And what so many people have done. And I know I'm overtired, and I know I haven't slept, and I know I haven't eaten, and I know I probably could have drunk less wine over the last 2 days, and certainly I've still got this bloody pussy hat on, which honestly is just a joke, and I totally don't like people that cry on any, you know, you've got to man up. But I guess I just wanted to be honest about how big this is. And the January 6th are just being released now. Enrico's just been released, and his mum's getting her son back, and Trump's getting the hostages back.
Getting the hostages, Israeli
all of a sudden, I think I've been celebrating so hard, and I've been so happy. All of a sudden, the
There's a part
reality
where
of
she
our
talks
big,
about freedom.
and we're not gonna not in a restaurant. Just it's gonna be futile.
She's so emotional.
But I think even I hadn't truly realised what we've been living under. And I really don't want to be this person, but I don't think you know how much your freedom is being taken from you until you start to get it back.
True. Whew. That just really hit home for me when I saw her so emotional, because she's usually pretty she's kind of a comedian. But she was that's a good representation of how I think how a lot of people were feeling. Is as soon as he got in office, everything just changed immediately. And I mean, like she was saying, like we've been saying, the January 6th prisoners, the Israeli hostages released, and we're about to get to North Carolina and California. I mean, it's not even been a week. I mean, talk about so much. It's more winning than I'm able to to manage. So, um, executive orders. Oh my gosh. Yes, actually, Putin wanted to extradite Fauci. Putin wanted to extradite Fauci to prosecute him. So that's very interesting. And then here we've got that reporter lady. I think she was with NBC, and she had all that trouble with them and left. And she's over there at Gitmo, which has been interesting. Reporting over there. So a lot of the people that got burned by the last 4 years in that administration, they are coming back with a vengeance. And let me tell you something. The people who believed the lies about President Trump and what the left was telling them, and who really championed for their cause, that have now realized how much they were lied to, those people will be a force to be reckoned with more than us, because they fought so hard for something, and to realize that they were fighting for something that was a lie, that they were lied to, that this was a deception, they're going to be more mad. I mean, think about it. If you've got a friend that you trust and you find out you can't trust them and that they were a complete backstabber, like, you're going to be the person more mad at them than anyone else, you know? And that's kind of what we're seeing happen with a lot of people. This was very sad. This guy was the January 6th prisoner who hung himself after his conviction for January 6th. And I really wish he'd hung on. I wish he had not hung himself, because he would have been free today. And that is tragic. I can't stand suicide. I have dealt with it a number of times in my life, and it's different. It's different. Wonderful news. Trump has withdrawn the United States of America from the World Health Organization. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. That's another one. I mean, he just didn't waste any time. Just we're out of the World Health Organization. Just crush the World Economic Forum. No more Fourth Reich. You remember my dad prophesied the rise and fall of a Fourth Reich? This is it happening. And that's slowly been being dismantled. Fauci's pardon also beginning January 1st, 2014. So what is up with this January of 2014? Because that's when my dad started going to Ukraine, guys. He'd never been to Ukraine, never talked about Ukraine, never thought about Ukraine. All my life, I never heard anything about Ukraine. And I'm talking about my dad now either. And all of a sudden in 2014, he was going to Ukraine and praying for Ukraine. And there you have it. The Obama CIA State Department took over Ukraine and began gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses in Ukraine, which Fauci spearheaded. So there that is. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. That was wasn't that lovely? Listen, I can't see the YouTube comments because I've got this screen in front of me. Let me move things around a little bit here. There we go. Now I can see what you guys are saying on YouTube. because I can see Rumble and I can see the House of Destiny chat for those of you watching on the House of Destiny network at our website. Thank you for joining us there. And so we have your chat open. We have Rumble and we have YouTube and X. Trump going after the CDC. Yes, yes, yes. I've got a clip to show you, Larry Williams of Barron in a minute. Barron Trump. So funny. Yeah, Russia invaded Crimea in 2014. Now, Dad did not see good things about Putin. So, is she there? Dina was trying to call me right before we went on air, and I couldn't answer her. Hi, Deanie. Oh, there she is. She heard your voice in the background, Jacqueline. Oh, Deanie, you got to come on the show with me. You could come on now. Lou will send you a link. You can come on right now if you want. We're just so excited about Trump, Dina. So any of you who don't know Dina McClure, she a dear friend of my mom and dad. My dad had her featured on the network, all kinds of stuff she was doing, and through my whole life, Dina was there with my parents. So it's so nice to see Deanie there. And Deanie came. Her name's Dina. I call her Deanie because I've known her since I was a baby. But Deanie came with us to Israel in 2018 when we went on our trip to Israel when Trump moved the embassy and did all the stuff. In 2018, we went to Israel and Dina came with us. It was just the most fun. Actually, I have the coolest picture of Dina with my mom on the camel ride in Petra. Because we had to leave and go home, but we left Dina and my mom in Petra, and they had too much fun. Too much. You guys, we need to do that again. We need to go back to Israel now that all of this is sorted out. Because I never got to go to Petra, and I wouldn't mind checking out Petra. So, oh my goodness, we've been on 45 minutes already. Gosh, the time flies. Jack Posobiec, he's undoing everything. We've never seen a day like this. That was all those executive orders. That was on January 20th. Ashton Forbes coming out on the Malaysian jet stuff. And of course, we know my dad prophesied about the Malaysian jet, the only plane crash I've ever heard him prophesy about. There's a whole story with that. So we're watching that. And Ashton Forbes will be coming on the show with us. I'm just waiting for football season to end. So as soon as football season is over, Ashton will come on here and talk to us about the Malaysian jet stuff, and we'll pull those prophecies. Trump was impeached because he asked Zelensky on the phone about the Biden family criminal cartel. And Joe Biden's final act in office was pardoning his entire family. Wow. So interesting. Why is this? Okay, there we go. Yeah, more on Fauci. We know about him. Oh, this, you guys, Carrie Underwood, a cappella. Because, okay, I was watching this live, and I'm sure a lot of you were too. And you noticed there was something wrong, and they're kind of standing around, and it's awkward and quiet, and then someone comes up and says something to her, and then she just busts out with a cappella.
You know the words, help me out here.
Here we go.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Hallelujah. And you hear everybody singing with her. Oh, what a beautiful moment that was. It had to be a cappella. Oh, my goodness. Yes, Trump needs to hire a new sound engineer, whoever was doing that day. But you know what? Things go wrong. And my dad traveled a lot and did a lot of live stuff. And it's not uncommon for things to go wrong. In that setting, a little bit unexpected, especially the inauguration. But you know what? Sometimes maybe God does things. maybe it was God because he wanted that moment. And oh, it was so beautiful. And I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. Look at it. Look at it. America is back. Let me tell you something. America, we are back. We are back. And it is so good. And you know what? It was just like a chipping away, like slowly boiling a frog alive. Like we were just like one thing after the other. And let me tell you something. It was a trauma. We have been traumatized. And God himself stepped in. And he said, you know what? This unexpected person is going to be the one that's going to do this. And this is the person I've chosen. And you can, you know, there's something in that too. You know, we would have expected, you know, a nice, clean cut little Pence kind of Christian. And that's not what God wanted. God wanted us to witness the transformation of this man while in office. God is doing things in a way he's never done them before. And my dad prophesied that it would happen. And here we are living this moment. And it has been a difficult journey, but we have done this together with God. He didn't do it for us. He did it with us. And let me tell you how much better that is. This is better than him. If he had won, well, he did win the 2020 election, but if everything hadn't happened the way it had, we wouldn't have this now. It wouldn't have been enough. God had to allow that to happen. And sometimes God allows these things to happen in order for a better result, which is what we're looking at now. And I know a lot of people suffered. And we're going to get to the children. Someone's talking about the children in the chat there. We'll get to the children in a minute. A lot has happened, but this is it, my friends. I mean, look, Lake and Riley Act passed this in the Senate. Yes, thank you, Jesus. It's just one thing after the other. Look at this. Look at this. Of course, Franklin Graham. Now, you know, my dad prophesied about Billy Graham, Oral Roberts, and himself, and how when the three of them died, a veil would be rent. I mean, my dad is blowing me away. Because, I mean, I knew how accurate of a prophet he was. Honestly, I can't find anyone else in this world like him. There are other prophets, and I'm not putting anybody down, but I cannot find someone with the precision and accuracy of my dad. And it really is, you know, it really is. It is humbling, but there's more. It shows you, you know, God sent a prophet, and he sent, you know, through the Bible, the kings had a prophet, you know, and obviously we don't have kings anymore, but Trump is sort of like the temporary king, the royalty of today, sort of. You know, he's not a king. Please don't anybody misquote me. Obviously, he's the president. He'll be there 4 years and he'll go home. That's what we want. We don't need monarchies anymore. However, the leader is the king. God always sent the prophet. He sent him a prophet that was so good in my dad, and I'm going to say this unashamedly, that he didn't have to be alive. He was such a good prophet. What a testament to what God can do. And the credit is going to God. It's not going to my dad. My dad can have the credit for what he did, but at the end of the day, this is God showing us. And it's not happening the way we expected it, but it's better. It's better. God always does everything better. This, I wept. I wept when this man prayed because I was seeing what my dad prophesied there in that moment. Let's hear him. It's beautiful. This is beautiful.
Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, we are so grateful today that you will use our 47th president so we would sing with new meaning, my country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and because America is called to be a great nation, we believe that you will make this come true. So let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, Let freedom ring from the curvaceous hilltops of California. But God, we're asking you not only that. Let freedom ring from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and every molehill in Mississippi, from every state, every city, every village, and every hamlet. And when we let freedom ring, we will be able to speed up that day where all of your children, black men and white men, Protestant and Catholic, Jew and Gentile, will be able to sing in the meaning of that old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank you, God Almighty. We are free at last.
No, that he did. Yes. That was at the inauguration. My sister's asking why that was at the inauguration. He prayed. That was not the woman. That woman was somewhere else. My sister's asking about the woman. We'll get to her. So, 42 executive orders, memoranda, proclamations, 115 personnel actions, more than 200 executive actions, 60 minutes of press Q&A, and 3 historic features. First day in office. That's a president. That's a president. Got to bang on my desk. Beautiful, all of it. And then, he did the dance with the sword, you guys. I was so excited. There's my favorite dance, and he's got a sword in his hand. This is you couldn't write this. You couldn't write this story. This is God's story. And it's a beautiful thing. It really is. There's Javier Milei and Georgia Maloney. They were there. I love both of them. Love both of them. That was so cool that they were there. There's old Dutch Sheets. He's happy. We're all happy, you guys. Now listen, I don't know. I wasn't here at the beginning. Did we play this today? Lou, did we play this? Let's play it now. Okay. So you guys remember my dad used to have the intro. It used to be the intro in his old in his broadcast, the old intro. So what we did was we went through and found like the most the prophecies we needed to see for now, and we redid it. And so our whole team worked on this, like, our editors and everybody came together, and I told them which prophecies to use, and they just went with it, and they made this. It's so cool. I know you guys might have seen it, but let's watch it again.
Trump shall become a trumpet, says the Lord. Be a praying president, not a religious one, but I will fool the people, says the Lord. God says, I will put at your helm for 2 terms a president that will pray, but he will not be a praying president when he starts. I will put him in office, and then I will baptize him with the Holy Spirit and my power, says the Lord.
Spirit of the Lord says there shall be one assassination attempt that shall endeavor to destroy the plans that I have for this nation. Look to your vice president.
But California, I'm looking at you. Gold, stone, California. God says, once you recognize the man that I have raised up, pray, for the enemy will do everything in his power to put a witch in the White House. Hear me. I have found a man after my own heart, and he is amongst you. He is one of the brothers but singled out for presidency of the United States of America. Strange July, hypnotic November, and oh Christmas, where winter shall say, and me, I will make them happy. My will shall be done. And in the fall will show you whom I have chosen to pray for and guide this nation. You shall rejoice, for it is my man. It is my chosen David, says the Lord, the Lord, the Lord, the Lord, the Lord, the Lord.
Welcome to the future, my friends. Welcome to the future. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I had to watch it again. I know you guys. But someone's saying something about the sword dance there in Rumble, Jackie. Have a look at that link. Okay, so this is so funny, Babylon B. Journalists horrified as the village people perform double Hitler salute. Oh, they're so desperate. They're just whatever they can come up with. I mean, I'm. Oh, look at this snowing in the Gulf of America. Renaming it the Gulf of America. I mean, 1 week. It's not even been 1 week, you guys. It's been 6 days. In 6 days, Canada might be the 51st state, or Greenland, or both. We're getting back the Panama Canal. The January 6th prisoners have been released and are being released. That's being dealt with. And then what about all the children that were missing? They've already found remember we were talking about this last year about the 300,000 kids missing, and I'm saying, how can 300,000 children just go missing? That's like a town. It's bigger than a town of children. And they've already found 80,000 of them. Okay, so this here is okay. Now we have some stuff to play for you. Okay, I'm almost running out of time here. So a lot of people, man, I don't know what to do with this. The Stargate thing. Now you guys know about everything that happened with Stargate last year, about what we discovered about Project Morning Star, which is what the one my dad was involved with the FBI after 9/11. I have since connected with Dr. Don Crum, who was the guy in the FBI who worked with my dad. He came out with a video earlier this year where he revealed what Project Stargate was about, which is not the one my dad was in. Stargate was long before my dad. But Stargate was what the CIA was doing, and it was where people were remote viewing and psychics and all this nonsense to try to counter what the Soviets were doing at the time. And in the process of this, they actually, and this is declassified now, it's there, you can look it up, something manifested in a room when they were up to this, whatever they were up to. And they made a deal with it the very next month. So this was December 1972. The very next month, we had Roe versus Wade. We had my dad get saved. We had Klaus Schwab and what's his name? Start the World Economic Forum. Like, not Harari. No. Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger helped Klaus Schwab start the World Economic Forum, which is the Fourth Reich Dad prophesied about. Not the only thing about the Fourth Reich, though. We've got a whole lot of Islamic stuff going on with the Fourth Reich, too. And the invasions that we're seeing happen, the Islamic invasions, they're trying to basically take over. Dad prophesied that. He prophesied it from England and Paris in the beginning of 2015 about what they would be dealing with. And we've seen how in London, he was in London and he was in Paris, what has happened to those places. With the immigration thing and what's happening with Islam and Sharia law. And I mean, London, England, they're out of control over there. So what we have here to show you, and I don't want to go too far off topic here because I want to show you this stuff. Now, Lou, we have the Trump AI announcement. So we've got 3 videos here on that. And then my dad. Now, basically, if you can put up my X page again, because I actually have it right here. So I'm going to open this up. Larry Ellison, says the Stargate Project. You guys, how could they call it that? I'm so blown away because of all of you who've watched me. And if you haven't, go back and look for the broadcast I did last year on Stargate. You can see the video footage I played of Don Crum talking about what they were doing at Stargate and why he started Morning Star, which is the project my dad was involved with, where they were countering what they had done at Stargate. So that's some of the stuff my dad was involved with that I didn't even know about. So that they're calling this Project Stargate is very concerning to me. This is something I'm praying about. I need you guys to pray about it. Let me know anything you know, anything you think or feel about this. because they're talking about this largest computer ever built, which will enable AI to create cancer vaccines. Now, I told you at the beginning of this broadcast about how they were telling me and my mom about a cancer vaccine mRNA technology when my dad was sick. And of course, we didn't know anything about mRNA. We didn't know what it was. We didn't know whether to trust it or not, but we heard about it. And so here it's all sort of culminating in this unexpected way. So I'm really watching this when it comes to the prophecies, because
there's a whole new system that's being raised up, says the Spirit. A whole brand new computer that has a speed greater than lightning. People shall say, no, this is more evil. God said, it's my doing.
Okay, Lou is saying that this is too small, so I'm going
This
to
computer
stop
and
this one and let you guys see the video we have, which is in big screen. So let's do it rather. Now, okay, so you've seen this stuff about the AI, Project Stargate, and this computer, right? So here is what this is what's throwing me for a loop right
There's
now.
a
'Cause here's
whole
what my
new
dad prophesied. Play it.
system that's being raised up, says the Spirit. There's a whole new Spirit. A whole brand new computer that has a speed greater than lightning. There's a whole new
What happened?
system that's being raised up, says the Spirit.
I could have just played this on X. It's okay. Why don't we just do that? We'll just play it on X again, because I just want to hear let them hear the rest of the prophecy.
There's a whole new system that's being raised up, says the Spirit. A whole brand new computer that has a speed greater than lightning. People shall say, no, this is more evil. God said, it's my doing. This computer and this whole technology shall reach the entire earth. Every being on the face of the earth shall be reached by this ludicrous, they call it ludicrous speed. And it shall be possible for men and women in India, third world countries, to hear the gospel in seconds. There's a whole new
Okay, guys. So what
system that's being
are
raised.
we? Hang on. What are we going to do with this? Because Dad prophesied that in 2008, and so I'm thinking to myself, like, think about when the internet came out and people were like, the www is the 666. Like, we have good reason not to trust these people. I'm not saying to trust them, but I trust Trump. And I'm wondering if, no matter what we do, this technology's here. Like, we can't stop it. We can't stop the AI. We can't stop the quantum computers. We cannot stop it. It's here. And so wouldn't we rather Trump be in control of it and America be in control of it, as opposed to China or Russia or Iran or some Middle Eastern country? Like, it's here. We're not getting rid of it. So isn't it better that we have it? I know I'm seeing you guys. I'm also skeptical, but that prophecy is there, and that was 2008. Like, he didn't know what a quantum computer was. No, but none of us did. But God showed him that, and God showed him, and God said people are going to say it's evil, and God says this is my doing. So, I'm going to leave that there for you guys today, because I've just been looking at it, and I don't know what to think. I know what he prophesied. So you guys pray about it, because again, we're not going to get rid of it. It's not going away. So maybe it's better if we have control of it. And that's the only thing that I can really think of at this stage. I'm praying about it. I don't just trust anybody, anything. And I certainly don't trust those people there. And a lot of people are like, well, does Trump know what he's doing? And I think, we're at this stage where we voted for Trump and we can't really do anything anymore. We can maybe speak up about people and, vote certain people in and out, but we've given this to Trump. And so we just need to pray for him, for his protection, for his discernment, that God leads him correctly, especially in the area of Elon Musk. I don't trust him. But And maybe it's not this particular one, right? Like maybe this is just the first announcement, but maybe these people, get exposed for being corrupt, but the technology is utilized. There's so many ways it could go. So I don't want to jump the gun on it, but I didn't post that. Someone else posted it. Someone else, that Janelle Speaks, is that who it was? She posted it. She noticed it before I did. Janelle Speaks. She noticed it before I did. So what are we going to do? Let's just pray. We'll pray. We need discernment. Yes, Matthew 6:33. Double portion of discernment. Agreed. Because it's difficult right now. Here's that bishop, Marion Edgar Budd. She's all proud of herself because she told Trump, because no one's ever done that before. Great. Okay. I'm not even going to justify that woman. I'm just like, here's Michael Reagan. That's Ronald Reagan's son. I am friends with Ronald Reagan's grandson, and that's his father. And he's saying it's really nice to have a president who doesn't mind doing press conferences. Yeah. This is what I was going to show you guys about Barron. So the caption here says, me when I fix my parents' TV by changing the input to HDMI 1. And the way he's reacting there is just too funny. I mean, that's, of course, not what was going on in this clip, but the person's caption there just made me laugh so hard. Because we've all had to do that for our parents or grandparents, like fix it and look at Trump proudly looking on. So Barron Trump is just the talk of the town. Everybody's so interested in Barron. I am too. I think Barron's awesome. Really cool kid. And someone here said, this is William Wolf, he said, I'm actually thankful, really honest to God, that the Democrats stole the 2020 election because the Trump we are getting now in 2025 is leaps and bounds better than what we would have gotten in 2021. And boy, do we agree with that. Like at the time, it just felt like an absolute nightmare, and it was an absolute nightmare, but it's one that God allowed. Because a lot of people woke up through that process. A lot of people that just were blindly hating Trump and not seeing what was going on can see now. And we saw that in the election results where Trump just didn't win. He won big and just crushed the opponents who really need to reevaluate themselves. So this is the other thing. I mean, you guys, it's just one thing after the other. No central bank digital currency. Now, you guys have seen, I've had Clay Clark on here talking about the CBDCs. It's centralized. This is why we don't like it. Okay, digital currencies. This is another thing that is unavoidable, like the AI, like the internet, like all the stuff. The digital currency is going to be the new. I mean, even Trump, who was not really into Bitcoin and all that stuff, the first presidency, he's into it now. His sons figured out what was going on, and he's in. And what we don't like with digital currencies or with anything like that is centralization. The central bank, all those centralized things have too much of an ability to be corrupted. And what America is about is the power being in the hands of the people. So you want a decentralized system when you're dealing with digital currencies and with that technology. So we have all these new technologies that are frightening and have the potential for a lot of evil, but they have the potential for good. And I'm telling you, you guys, Lou, can we play the 2027 prophecy? Let's play that one.
What is happening right now?
He's running in here because we're having trouble playing our videos today. Can you do it from here? Okay, Lou's going to do it from here. We're going to look at the prophecy Dad got on the 2027.
What is happening right now is
about
I'm
3 minutes.
taken beyond the veil. I'm hearing so many different sounds that I've never heard before. This, again, the elderly and the children, an amalgamation of the two voices. It's the strangest sound. An old voice and a young voice. And it's together. It's like there is no age in the sound.
I'm in the spirit, and I'm very seldom this happens to me, but at least I have my composure, and this is important. For that few seconds or whatever it was, I don't even know how long it was, I sensed, I heard, I couldn't see, sounds that I've never heard before. It was not wicked, it was beautiful. The hearts of the fathers back to the sons, the spirit of Elijah that is coming upon the earth. Oh, like we have never seen before. Why do you think he wants to kill our children? A sound like we have never heard before, like I have never heard. I hope I live to see it. But there is something beyond this veil, a way that we can never imagine. I pray, Lord, that each warrior would receive just a glimpse of this future, that you will reign upon land, upon land, upon land, upon schools, colleges, prisons. And let that church emerge that we know about, that is in existence, in existence. Now, Lord, I'm back in the year 2013. This is 2027. Where will I be? The children that you've given to us to look after, and the many thousands and tens of thousands that we will reach. There will no longer be some of the diseases and the brain problems and sudden breakthroughs. Forgive me, please. Somebody else must take over.
Okay, so that's pretty emotional, actually, honestly. So people asking who's Emma? Hannah, who was one of the singers, Hannah and her sister sang with my dad for years, and Hannah's daughter was born with some severe disorders. She is not able to speak or walk, or she has a lot of issues, and he saw her healed in that moment. That's why he wept, because we knew them obviously really well, and God showed her to him, and there you see he's actually weeping and saying, "Where will I be? And the children that you gave me to take care of." Now, the children he's talking about are my adopted brothers and sisters from China, that at that time, which was 2013, they were really little. And then, of course, Dad got sick not long after that. And so there's a lot of I kind of threw that prophecy up and then didn't realize how emotional it actually would be for me. Because I never saw my dad cry like that often. It was only a few times in my life I saw him break down like that. And I knew him for 36 years. But you guys, he saw healing for cancer and Alzheimer's, brain disorders. autism. I told you about my experience in that, I've personally in the last 10 years hands-on dealt with all of those things. And I think God did that to show me something. There's more to it. It's deeper. It's not just about me either. And so we see him seeing the quantum computer and seeing these technologies. And again, I saw some of you writing in the chat about the chips in the hand and all that stuff. And what we do know is that was prophesied, not from my dad, the Bible prophecy. And we can't stop that. And we can't look at prophecy by looking at whoever prophesied it and saying, well, they had this or that opinion. No. The way prophecy works is they see what will happen, not what they want to happen. So, like Daniel and Isaiah and Ezekiel, they saw, and the others, they saw what would be. It doesn't mean they like it, doesn't mean they even understood it. They saw it. So it is here. And, God has given us a time before that. So the bad things in these technologies and these computers and these mRNA vaccines, those bad things are not going to go away. But there's also potential for good in some of it. And I think God is going to allow us a time for some good to be there, especially when in the right hands. Eventually, those things will end up in the wrong hands, and then we'll see the fulfillment of Bible prophecy and the end and the return of Christ. So all of those things we cannot avoid. We cannot take the mark. That we can do. Those are the things we can do, but they're here. And so we just need to keep praying for President Trump, that he has discernment. And look, I don't think God did all of this to put Trump there for it to just smash and burn into oblivion. We need to trust, not even Trump, we need to trust God. And God has really required a lot of that from us over the years, especially the last 4 or 5 years for sure. For me, the last decade. And so what Dad was seeing was this computer being so fast that the gospel would be spread so quickly. So that whatever is meant for evil, God can also use for good, just like the internet. I mean, the internet has been used for so much evil, but also so much good, because look at us here together today. And all those things are unavoidable. They are happening. They have been prophesied by the prophets of the Bible. Now, we're not talking about my dad. We're talking about the Bible. Those things were seen, and they're coming. They're here. So what do we do with it when we're in this moment, when we are who we are living in this time together? What are we going to do with it? Are we going to hide away and be afraid? Or are we going to occupy until he comes? And whatever tools the enemy has, we're going to take those tools and we're going to sharpen them up and we're going to use them for God right until he comes back. And so whatever good we can get out of it, we're getting it. And whatever bad comes, we're going to fight against that. And we're going to pray that we have discernment like people who in all of history have never had, because we have the knowledge and the technology at our fingertips that people have never had in all of history. We are living in a most incredible time, and it is as exciting as it is equally as scary. And so I think perspective has a lot to do with this. And so I'm not going to be afraid. That's the one thing I'm not going to do. And I'm going to trust God, and I'm going to pray for President Trump and our leaders and the people that God has chosen for this moment, and for each and every one of you, that we can we find our way through this. And the way, one big thing that's helped us is the little lights along the path that are these prophecies that came from my dad. They've helped us through this season. But we must also not forget what is in the Bible and what was prophesied there, and the prophets, those great prophets that saw to the end. I mean, you talk about seeing. I mean, look what happened to Isaiah in his time. They cut him in half with a wooden saw. They sawed him in half with a wooden saw. You know what a terrible death that is? So, oftentimes when prophets see something in the time, uh, it doesn't go well for them. It certainly didn't go well for Jesus. But thank God he died on that cross and resurrected because he did that for us. And so we won't forget that either. I think I got to everything today. I did. I did. We didn't play some of the news clips on the AI stuff, but you guys know we saw enough. So I think we're about out of time. But thanks for being so patient with me. I was actually late today. I can't believe I did that. But you got to hear that beautiful song in the beginning. I was on the phone with Lou, like, play them something. I'm almost there. And we have had just the most amazing first 6 days of Donald Trump being president for the second term, as was prophesied. And we are just too excited and happy to let ourselves do anything but just celebrate God and how amazing he is and what he has done for us. And we are grateful to be here in the United States of America and not somewhere where we have to go hide underground to be Christians like in China and Iran. Let me tell you, that underground church is amazing. Put us to shame. So let's make them proud over there. Those our brothers and sisters in some of those countries who suffer. And the problem in the West is people aren't even reading the Bible. Over there, they have it memorized. They're not allowed to have one. So we're going to keep praying for our brothers and sisters there and for one another. And we're going to lift one another up and be full of hope and excitement because right now things are looking good. And I am happy. And I'm proud of my dad. And I'm proud of all of you. I'm proud of President Trump for making it through this. He did it. And he is the David that God chose for this season. So we are grateful to God for saving us. And anybody who gave today, if you gave an offering, I always forget this part. I almost forgot completely. If you gave an offering today, we'd like to send you some stuff. So here, this is the Daily Light. This is a 31-day devotional. An offering of any amount. We're going to send this to you. Just make sure you click the banner on the website or use the QR code so we know to send it to you. The other one we have is Prophetic Revelations. Is our new release last year, a collection of letters from the pen of Kim Clement. Totally awesome. If you gave $25 or more today, we're going to send this to you. But use the QR code. If you don't want to use that, go to the website, click the banner so we know to send it to you. And also, we have a QR code. Not a QR code, man. What's it called? For MyPillow. Lou, do you have a MyPillow image handy? No, I was just talking to my mom the other day, and I've really neglected our sponsors. So MyPillow, we have a code that you can use, a discount code. And so if you happen to be shopping for towels or slippers or dog beds or whatever they sell over there, use our what is it, Kim Clement? Yes, it's Kim Clement. If you just put Kim Clement for the discount, if you're shopping at MyPillow, you will help us and you'll get a nice big fat discount at MyPillow. And then the other thing is Andrew Sorcini in Beverly Hills Precious Metals. If you are looking to diversify your financial portfolio, I recommend you go to bh-pm.com and talk to Andrew Sorcini. Tell him we sent you. Just say the name Kim Clement and you will get a discount there as well. They are more than happy to help you. If maybe you've got a little bit of money in a 401k and you want to put it over there and make some of it gold just to be safe, we recommend Andrew Sorcini, who is a good friend and really upright man he's so smart. And I'm going to have him come on here and give us a little update on what's happening in that area of the gold and the precious metals, how things are looking now that Trump is president, what's happening. And so if you're a person who's into that, that's who we recommend. And of course, you can say Kim Clement and they will take care of you. And no, Shyla means Philadelphia. It's got nothing to do with money blinding us. It's just that people have money, so we're trying to be wise with it. I don't have enough money to buy any gold, but that's okay. If someone out there is watching and they're wanting to do this, I know a guy who's trustworthy. So there we go. And you know what? It's not wrong. It's not wrong for Christians to look. there's been so many of these televangelists that have really abused that. And it's such a terrible pity, because what has happened as a result is Christians hate other Christians who might do financially well, be it through ministry or not. And it's really a problem I see around there. I mean, there's people with whole YouTube channels, and they're making money while slandering other Christians. It's a mess. So, there's stuff. Oh, Shyla doesn't like Trump. Well, that's okay. You don't have to like him. It's fine. God bless you anyway, Shyla. All right, guys. I don't mind talking to people who are mean, because I've had to deal with it so much. People shouting at me, "You're gonna burn in hell with your father," and it's like, man, you're a Christian. Why are you wasting your time with this? But we don't need to get into that discussion. I just saw that, and I trust God over everyone else. I trust God. So, but you see what happens? You see what happened with me with the T-shirts? Like, I wasn't even making money off those T-shirts, and people were like, "You." And it had nothing to do with anything, except for I just wanted you guys to be able to wear some of those prophecies and be like a declaration. I didn't make any money off of it. But oh boy, there were some Christians shouting at me. How dare you? Okay, well, I'll just starve to death and live in a ditch. And then even that won't be good enough. And that is the devil that's doing that, because you guys have no problem with like ordering from Amazon and letting that guy get super duper rich. You have no problem buying your computers and your phones from Apple. You don't mind them getting rich. But any Christians doing well, that's a problem. So I don't know how we're ever supposed to get anywhere in the world then. But I am not a grifter. I just made some T-shirts on Teespring for you guys. And man, that's why I just stopped. I was like, man, I'm not. It happens too much though. And it's it is a fine line, because there's a lot of people who have abused it. And because of that, that's why we deal with that now too. I'm not blind to that. But thank you, ML, for loving the T-shirts. I just did that for you guys. And I am going to go back there and make some more. And you'll see, if anybody has ever used Teespring, you'll see how it works. You can increase the price, but they have a set price, and it's pretty high. So I put it all the way down to as low as I could, where I didn't make anything. And once I figured out that's how it worked. But I still had to hear it. How terrible. So we're going to pray for one another. You know what? I hope that Christians do well. I hope you do well. If you're being honest and you're taking care of people and you're doing what God has destined you to do and chosen you to do, I'm happy for you. And I will not be envious. Okay, everybody. I'm not going to go on. You can see it irks me a little bit, because it's ridiculous. It's so absurd. But I also understand why, because I saw a lot of nonsense that went on in the 80s and 90s, especially in televangelists. And really, we got to clean that mess up too. But God's dealing with it. He's dealing with all of it. And so don't think Catholic priests or bishops spoke at the inauguration. I don't know. I didn't see any. No, there was one. There was, I don't know if he was a priest or a bishop, but they did have the Catholics represented. They had Franklin Graham, and then they had that guy, and then the other guy played the prayer. Thank you, Relentless Mel. We love you too, over there on Rumble. All right, guys, I'm out of time. I got to go. But you have a wonderful week, and we'll be back next Sunday to see what did Trump do this week, because we are so happy. We're happy for America. We're happy for the West, and we're just happy. See you next week. Hello, friends. I'm Donna Clement Petrushka, and I am honored to invite you to something truly extraordinary, the Kim Clement Prophecy Vault. Now you can gain unprecedented access to my father's entire digitized video archive. Every prophetic moment, every powerful teaching, every anointed worship session is now available to you in the Prophecy Vault. Plus, I'm excited to share that my dad's special School of the Prophets teachings are included, offering you deep, transformative lessons on hearing God's voice and understanding his revelations. Your partnership is crucial. Not only will you gain access to these incredible resources, but you'll also help us continue the vital work of preserving, digitizing, and adding new Kim Clement material to the archives. I'm inviting you to step into the Kim Clement Prophecy Vault. Let's embark on this journey of revelation together, and I can't wait to see you inside.